So the question is, when you're coding, do you use if then or do you use wait until? So I'm going to explain in this video some examples of how I code things and which blocks I've used, because most of my code has at least one of these in there somewhere. One of my most popular activities are the wall bumping races, where a car is coded to hit the wall, turn around, come back and stop by itself. So there's an obvious sequence of steps here. So the vehicles are designed to travel to the wall and then wait until the button is pressed and then turn around, come back and then stop after a certain number of centimetres. Wait until block is perfect for this sort of scenario because it needs to do the first half of the steps first, wait until something happens, and then do a whole bunch of other steps in order, in sequence. And that's when wait until is the best. I mean, I could have used if then as well in this scenario. In fact, most of the time when there's a sequence, you can still use if then, but I think it makes more sense to kids in particular if you use wait until for something that has to happen in a set order. Now, the next example I wanted to show you was my colour sensing maze that I made. And I've done this in schools a few times, and students often come up with their own way to code it because there are several ways to code just about any robot. But this one I originally started by coding it like this. I actually started by using the when block and inserting the sensor details into each when block, because when you press play, it would run all the stacks individually when needed. But this isn't the best way to code it, I don't think. I reckon it's better to code it using a wait until, but even better still, probably using the if then. So obviously with the vehicle, you set the movement motors and the speed and you make it start moving to start with. And then, for example, on that previous maze, it could see the yellow one, then turn and then keep moving forward. So every time it sees yellow, it sees this. Well, the first time it sees yellow, it would say this. Now you could just duplicate that and say, well, the second time it sees yellow, it's got to do that again. Or the other option is to use the repeat so many times. So you could say repeat 3 times for the first 3 yellow bricks. And then duplicate that, then go repeat 2 times. When it sees green, we're going to make it turn right. So you could do this until you got all the way out of the maze and it would follow each step by step. And that's a pretty cool way to do it. You just have to count how many times each brick is seen after the other and put them in order. So it might end up looking something like this. If I had some pink bricks here, we could make them pink and repeat that and make it turn left again. Or even maybe the turn could be slightly different depending on where your car's ending up. Okay, so that could get you out of the maze because it's doing one thing and then another and then another, and it's repeating those things along the way. But again, that's an example of a direct sequence. Let's do it with an if-then statement. Might be easier. So let's go if-then. And you could say every time it sees yellow, you want it to do that. And we could duplicate that and say every time it sees green, then we want it to do that, the opposite. And then maybe duplicate that and say every time it sees pink, we want it to do that. Okay, but it's not going to work properly unless you put this inside a forever loop. So that at any time, if it sees those colors, it'll do what's directly under it. And it will keep doing that over and over and over again. So I think that's a more efficient way because you don't have to worry about counting how many bricks it's seeing. It's just saying whenever it sees those colors, it's going to do those things. Doesn't matter what order. Okay, so this could even go up here. Now, it wouldn't matter if it's a completely different order because if anything happens inside that loop, it's going to do what's directly under it. So there's a good example there of how you can use wait until, or you could use if. Another example I'm going to show you now is how I use code during sumo wrestling. Sumo wrestling is probably my most popular activity with Spike Prime, and it's always heaps of fun. But over the years, my code has evolved and changed a lot. In fact, I've got several videos on YouTube suggesting different ways to code it. But recently I come across a way to code it so it's all in one stack. I'm going to share that with you now. So this is my ultimate code. It's all in one stack. It's taken years to develop and it's pretty awesome. I'm going to explain some of it now. Whenever you've got a vehicle starting, you always want to tell the hub where you've plugged in the movement motors, and then you can set a speed, and then you can make it spin. My robots in my battles always spin for 2 seconds now, so I get the kids to build a robot, and at the start of every battle it has to spin for 2 seconds, and they can decide how fast they want it to spin up here, but for 2 seconds is how long it's got to spin for. A speed of 80% might be too fast, especially if they're using big wheels. So after it spins, they might want to slow it down to 60 or even less. And then it starts moving straight ahead. Now this is where my forever block comes in, and inside that I've got two if statements. I've got the if it sees the white line, it's going to go backwards and it's going to turn. And there's a chance to change a couple of those speeds as well. And then after that, if it sees the other robot, and the other robot's within 30 centimeters, it's going to accelerate really fast and go straight ahead. But if it sees the white line, it doesn't fall off by itself. It will do either of these forever inside the loop. And if it does see the other robot, it shouldn't charge off the board. If it does charge off the board, it's going too fast, you might want to change your speed. All that can happen now within the one stack. And it's interesting because if it does see the other robot, it shouldn't leave the board. The only catch with it, which is a little bit annoying, is that when it's turning, it doesn't actually see the other robot because it's going through all these steps in a sequence, in an order, one after the other. And so while it's turning, it's not seeing the other robot until all that's finished. And then it can see the other robot. So it can't see the other robot while it's turning, but it is a good piece of code because it means that it shouldn't leave the board by itself. My other codes, if it saw the other robot, it would just charge off the board. And sometimes that's okay because if you've got a one-on-one battle, it's the first one to hit the ground loses. But sometimes I have 3 or 4 robots in a battle, and sometimes they would charge off the board and lose because there was other ones on the board still. Anyway, that's how you can get it inside a forever loop using if statements. Could possibly do it with wait until, but the problem is that it might travel around the board lots before it even sees the other robot. So it might do this 4 or 5 times before it sees the other robot. So it's not really a sequence like the Maze Runner because things can happen randomly. It could see the other robot twice before it even sees the white line and that sort of thing. So if statements inside a forever loop are good when things occur randomly. And that's why I use it for sumo wrestling. In conclusion, I use if then if it's a random event, and I often place it inside a forever loop. That seems to make it work more reliably. And if I'm going to use wait until, then it's when it's something that needs to be happening in a certain order or sequence. And sometimes it's helpful to use something like repeat a number of times. If you enjoy my videos, why not give me a small donation by pressing the thanks button at the bottom of every video. You can tap thanks and give me a donation, or you could even become a member by joining my channel and become an official Robot Man fan, just like these guys. I've also got some videos that you might like to see, some other lessons and a playlist of all my Spike Prime tricks. Check them out.